Hello there. Everybody talks about becoming an auditor and internal auditing, and then the minute they start this journey, they think CIA is the answer to everything. Of course, it is. CIA is one of the most prestigious certifications around for internal auditing and probably the most exclusive and the best of the lot. But if you don't know what auditing really is, CIA may not be the right place to start. If you are planning to start CIA Part 1, and you want to know more about internal auditing, this video is right, perfectly done right there for you. So let's dig in. CIA stands for Certified Internal Auditor. It also stands for Chief Internal Auditor, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. But in this context, it stands for Certified Internal Auditor. So this course is the only globally recognized certification dedicated exclusively to internal auditing, and it's awarded by the Institute of Internal Auditors, or the IIA as it's fondly known. So if you're working in audit, risk, compliance, governance like GRC, finance, even IT for that matter, CIA gives you a very strong foundation in how organizations are usually governed and controlled, and how to value risk and add value in terms of protecting that, or trying to enhance that risk management technologies and techniques. Okay, so typically what auditors do is they provide an assurance whether things are working the way they should, and CIA gives you that edge in your career so that you can proceed towards achieving that goal. All right, so CA course structure goes like this. The exam has three parts. You don't have to write all the three parts together, you can write it one at a time. Part 1 is on essentials of internal auditing, part 2 is the practice of internal auditing, and part 3 is business knowledge for internal auditing. So think of CIA as learning about how organizations protect the value of, how things are done, how the auditing itself happens, what is auditing, why do we audit, and so on. All right. CIA part 1 is what we are going to talk about in this particular video. So it's all about the fundamentals. It covers the purpose of internal auditing, independence and objectivity, GRC or governance, risk and control, ethics and professionalism, assurance and consulting roles. So part 2 and part 3 are about doing the job of internal auditing, whereas part 1 is understanding why the job exists in the first place. All right. So auditing is not a modern invention. It goes back to thousands of years, back in the times of ancient Egypt, back almost 5,000 plus years, where auditors were appointed. They were not called auditors at that time. They were some officers were appointed to ensure that green and gold collected as taxes were properly recorded and safeguarded. The Romans took it a step further, and they appointed proper officials who would read accounts loud to independent parties. So the word audit comes from Latin, back in the Roman days. It literally means to listen. So originally auditing was all about listening to accounts being read. But these days it is more synonymous, or we associate it with controlling, checking, inspection, and so on. So if you come to think about it, auditors were the kings or the queens or the rulers, yeah, eyes and ears. We still call it eyes and ears, right? That's why. So what's the definition of internal auditing according to the IIA, or the Institute of Internal Auditors? Internal auditing is an independent, objective assurance and consulting activity designed to add value and improve an organization's operations. It helps an organization accomplish its objectives by bringing a systematic, disciplined approach to evaluate and improve the effectiveness of risk management, control, and governance processes. So, very important to know this definition because it is heavily tested in part 1. But it is not just that they are going to ask you for the definition, they are going to ask you things which are part of the definition, which are mentioned here, key terms. So let me go to that in the next slide. These are the key terms in the definition. Let's break that definition down because every single matters as far not only the exam is concerned but also to know what internal auditors actually do. The first word is independent. Independent means free from management influence. So which means you functionally report to the board of directors, free from undue influence of anyone. Next word is keyword is objective. Objective means to have an unbiased mental attitude and no conflict of interest should be there. Basically, you should have an impartial judgment on any activity or any assurance which you're giving. Which brings us to the next word, which is the assurance activity. Assurance activity where we are providing an independent opinion on or conclusion on a certain assertion or something which the management expects us to check. The next word is on consulting. Consulting is an advisory role, not a decision making role. If you put that in perspective, it is providing advisory services at the management's request. Systematic discipline approach is the next key phrase. Systematic discipline approach using frameworks, plans, documentation and evidence. Everything is evidence based and today's world is all risk based as well. The next aspect is adding value and improving operations. So traditionally auditors are always spoken about like policemen and fault finders and all that stuff, but that's not really the case. Auditors truly, if you see, internal auditors especially, are improvement focused. They look at finding value, not finding faults. Last but not the least, GRC, governance, risk management and control. These are the three pillars with which internal audit functions overall. I mean, this is the disciplined way of doing the whole. Ultimately, we are providing assurance on these three pillars, right? So there we go. We've covered quite a few things today. I hope I was able to touch base upon what is auditing and why, how it originated, and what is the definition of internal auditing as such. So more videos are going to be. Thank you so much for watching, and if this helped, please follow me on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram for more audit concepts, not only on the CIA but also on the CISA exam as well. And there are lots and lots of resources on my LinkedIn page. You will find content, sample questions, to help you out, cheat sheets. There's a lot of content that's there. I post almost every day. Please do check out everything so that you can enhance your chances and qualify for CIA or CISA in the first attempt. All right, thanks. Bye.